Good morning. I'm Dr. Marilyn Carroll, and I am your instructor today for this financial literacy workshop. And first of all, I'm going to start with an overview of what financial literacy is. And I'm going to go through these slides probably pretty fast, and then I'm going to come back through in the next six sessions, excuse me, and I'm going to go over with you the various aspects of what we're going to cover, the 6 parts to financial literacy. And so in this course, we're going to learn a lot about how to increase cash flow, debt management, building wealth, asset accumulation, retirement planning, wealth preservation, and college planning. We're going to do that. Like I said, I'm going to do a general overview here, and then I'm going to go through and do an overview of the 6 sections in more detail. All right? All right. So are you ready? All right, let's go. So, financial literacy. So, hi. The one thing that about financial situation, what is the one thing about your financial situation that you would like to change? And if your answer is debt, well, girl, guys, you are not alone. Too many families dream for a better future, for a better, and to have be put on hold by the burden of debt. So debt holds us back. It doesn't let us move forward a lot of times. Well, the great news, I say good news on the monitor, but the great news is there is a way to unload the heavy weight of debt. Yes, there's a way. Did you know that debt kind of confines and consumes us and breaks us down, holds us down more than what we need to be held down? And so we really want to find a way to get rid of that debt. So my recommendation is to check out the 6 steps to financial independence. It's a straightforward 6-step process that can lead to financial independence, which the first step though, guys, is debt management. Once you clear up burdensome debt, the next step is to becomes easier with the process. So check out this digital class and the tools that I've included on this new site that I'm trying out. One of my friends wrote this site, this digital app, and I thought it was great. So not only am I coming to you on this class, but the recording from the class will then be taken and put on the app so that anyone can share it at their leisure when they're ready. And now you can also see which tips we can share to help you get out of debt faster. And then if you're pleased with what I have to say, or if you want more answers or to questions you may have, you can give me a call and we can talk about it and find a way to implement a plan just for you. Right? So, financial literacy, let's go. So I have what's called a 100 Club. And so my goal, and you can help me with my goal, is to reach 100 people and teaching them about financial literacy, and to also reach another 100 people that that financial literacy takes and turns into another me, a person that can help them just as I am helping people here today. So the 6 steps to financial literacy, if you want to building wealth and legacy and the knowledge, I'd love for you to come and grow with us or with me. And that's my number on the bottom of the screen, 214-301-1664. That's my number in Dallas. But I am, my goal is to get to all 50 states and to have at least 2 people on my team from the various 50 states. So again, you can help me with that goal, all right? Okay, step 1, debt management. We're going to talk extensively in this presentation and the 6 other videos that follow about debt management. And we're going to talk about emergency fund, cash flow, proper protection, how to build wealth, and how to preserve wealth. We're going to talk about all of those things over the next sessions that we have. Some of you are on now. watching from doing this live Zoom meeting with me. And I'm recording the Zoom meeting and going to take it from there. And I'll also, excuse me, answer questions for you that you put in the chat that my team will send to me, and asking and I will answer those questions. All right. And for now, because this is being recorded, we have muted everyone. And like I said, you'd have to post your questions in the chat box. That only comes to me because we don't want other people's names for privacy purposes to be shown. All right. So what is debt management? Well, in debt management, we talk about 4 different components. We talked to you about how adding $10 pays off a little more debt every month, and how do you come up with the $10, Marilyn, when I don't even have $10 now? Well, believe it or not, you may have $10 and not really aware that you have that $10. Coffee, for example. I love me some Starbucks. And so giving up Starbucks sometimes for me has been beneficial for a while. Even though I love that coffee, I didn't think I'd ever do without it. But it helps me now because 2 cups a week comes to about $10 for me. But if I can buy in the bag from the grocery store, I may spend $9 for the bag, but I'm able to make at least about 12 cups from that. And so I'm repurposing those dollars and using 15 of it to save possibly, or do something else with, save 5, reduce debt with 10. And so that's how I can do it. There are other things we can give up as well as for luxury items. And then there's the rule of 72. And I say, meet the rule of 72. Yay. It's a formula. What is it, Marilyn? It's a formula that helps to show you how interest can work for you or against you. Yes, that dreaded interest. It can work for you or against you. But right now, we have low interest rates, but debt doesn't have low interest rates tied to it. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that on the next couple of slides. And roll debt, rollover, roll out debt, rollover, roll up. Roll out debt and roll it up. You want to pay down debt more quickly. So we're going to talk more about that as we go through the additional slides. And you want to get a handle on your debt. Debt is a killer. It's DEBT, but it can be deadly for us, that DEBT. And then there are 2 ways people typically consolidate their debt. They either enter a debt consolidation program or they do a debt consolidation loan. I do not recommend debt consolidation loans because typically you have a bad behavior and you need to change that behavior. So when you do a debt consolidation loan, you find yourself back at the table in 3-4 years doing that debt consolidation loan again. So check out this beautiful picture on the compound of interest and the rule of 72. It's all about a money thing. It's all about the money. And so you divide the number 72 by the annual interest rate, which is the R, 72 here. And the annual interest rate is R, to find out the appropriate time required for a doubling. And so say in our example here, we have 72, because that's the rule. You got to use that in every formula. And then 3% annual interest rate in the example is equal to 24 years to double. All right. And then I have another example over to the right of the screen, and it says, meet the rule of, it's a formula. It shows you how interest can work for you, or against you. So this concept shows you how money can double in savings. It can also demonstrate the approximate amount of time it takes for your debt to double at a constant rate of return compounded over time. So this simple example shows you how it works. So Mary owes $10,000 on a loan, for example, and the interest rate she's charged is 6% per year compounded annually. So if she doesn't make any payments at this interest rate, it would take her 12 years for the amount she owes to double. And again, we go back to our formula, 72, and the interest rate is 6%. And in this case, it equals to 12 years. So that's a long time, right? Right. And so that gives you some education about the rule of 72. And let's talk about the emergency fund. Well, building an emergency fund is a second component. So when facing an unexpected financial challenge, you customize your emergency fund, you design an emergency fund that's right for you. This is very important, guys. Not what's right for Mary or Paul or Sue or my mom or my dad, my sister, brother, or my best friend. You customize what's right and works for you, all right? So emergency funds need proper care and protection. And how do you maintain an emergency fund? Well, you grow it, you prune it, and you replenish it. Yes, yes. So growing it means that you decide how much you need to save. And based on your expenses, then you start growing it systematically. Next, you prune it, you cut it, you use those scissors and you cut away that debt. And you check your emergency savings periodically to make sure that you're not putting aside too much. So in my case, where I talked about the coffee, and it costed me basically $25 a week or more, sometimes 35 if I get it 7 days a week, my Starbucks coffee. Then we can break that down to, I spent $10 at the store buying a bucket of Starbucks coffee. I don't use sugar. So that $10, and I use my paper towels to line my coffee pot. Yes, I'm saving, guys. I'm working this thing. And so I use that paper towel, bounding paper towels that I already have at home anyway. And I line my coffee pot. And so that makes me, I can get out of a canister of the large can of coffee, of Starbucks coffee that they sell at the store, or the bag. I can make me approximately 20 cups of coffee, 20 cups of coffee. And so that coffee saves me, instead of spending $35 a week, I'm now down to spending $5 a week, because that canister of coffee lasts me 2 weeks, right? And so I am doing a tremendous amount on my savings and able to put that money back. And so I don't want to put all of it in savings. I'm trying to get rid of debt. You know, if you're like me, you got student loan debt, and we need to get rid of that debt. And so not only do I have student loan debt, I have other debts that I have to pay as well. Or you may have a debt in other things. But for me, I'm focusing on the debt that I have. I'm not interested in everybody else. I have my goals in place. And so I know what I need to do. So part goes to debt reduction and part goes to savings. And so you replenish it every time you withdraw money from your emergency fund. You have to make sure you have a priority to replace it as soon as you can. And yes, there are going to be times when you have to get money, but you have to make a commitment to yourself, as if you're borrowing it from your mother or your father or somebody you got to pay it back to, because they're going to beat you down if you don't, because they're going to constantly be driving at you, right? And so you want to make sure that you pay that debt back. And so I love this little chart that I'm showing you on the monitor now. Check this out. This is, shows you, this is 52 weeks up here. And so going across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 times 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, it's 5, it's 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. Yeah, 52 weeks in a year, right? So if I took $3, but I'm doing more, you can do $3. So if you want to save $1,000, this is the bomb. $3 the first week, you save $19 the second week, you save $9 the third week, $22 the fourth week, so on and so forth. But you see how you can make this work for yourself. And by the time at the end, December the 31st of whatever year, or if you start now, and what is this? This is the end of June that I'm bringing you this presentation. So if I started at the end of June or started the first week of July, by June of middle of next year, I have $1,000. So if you want to triple up those amounts by doing some other things, you can do that as well. And so cash flow is our next component. So cash flow is your third component. Change your cash flow and change your life. This is real. If you can change the way your cash flow works, you can change your life. To start this powerful transformation, it helps to understand how it works. So rock your finances with a budget and do the heroes with a budget. Do heroes have budgets? For the most part, if they're a good hero, they do. Join the gig economy, and I'll talk to you more in that particular 5-minute session, 15-minute session. What is the gig economy? The financial services industry, it needs you. It's growing business. I'm in financial services. I need you. I need to help in order to meet my goal. One of my spiritual goals is to help people really come to grips with where they are and what it is they need to do, and to from a financial perspective, from money perspective, and looking at the whole picture. Because I learned a long time ago as an educator and as a researcher that it's the whole person that matters. And if you can get your whole self kind of categorized and put into place, then other things would just begin to work out. They really did. And then if you're a veteran, we have things for veterans as well. I live around veterans. I'm a veteran, and I know some of the things that you need to do or what the veterans go through, even though right now a lot of them are doing extremely well, but you can help some other people. A lot of times our life is not just about us, but it's about how we can help others as well, right? All right. So the gig economy, what is that, Marilyn? Well, the gig economy is you can have a part-time business or service industry teaching people how money works, like joining me for that. Think about it. You can turn your passion into profit by selling things you make as a hobby, or you can leverage your professional expertise by taking freelance consulting projects or tutoring others. You can engage in the gig economy by walking dogs, babysitting, or driving for a ride sharing company, Or you can rent out a spare room, your car, your clothes, or other resources that you may have. And yes, believe it or not, these few things. There was this lady, she and couple really, they kept their jobs. They went into the gig economy as well. And they ended up paying off $200 and some thousand in debt. And they did it within a 2-year time frame. And they did that because they worked together. One, they worked as a team. Number two, they used all of their other resources to work together and doing gig things. I think they cleaned houses. That was one gig they did. They started selling things. They did meat. They started a little small business on the side other than just cleaning houses and things of that nature. So and they did walk dogs. And so before it was all said and done, in 2 years, they had saved enough money to get themselves out of debt. Proper protection is another component that a lot of people don't think about, because I don't know about you. Check this out. I have been with family. Every time a family member dies, I have a lot of older family members. And it comes to the mere point that there's not enough money to bury them, or we're having to go to a GoFundMe, some of the people, or whatever, or you're digging in other people's pocket. Listen, we're responsible for ourselves. Somebody else was responsible for us when they first brought us into the world, and until we got old enough to take care of ourselves. Now, once we're old enough to take care of ourselves, from teenage on, 18 and on, that's our responsibility to make sure we have protection for us, and we start early with it. Because if you don't start early, the later you start, the more money you're going to spend on it. I know, I see this every day. And one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to help people with this is that very reason. Because a lot of times people do not. They wait until the last minute and they try to pull this together. And then it's, oh, I got time. I'm young. I have time. It's going to work. It'll be fine. No, you don't. You don't. You may live until you're 85 years old. But what you don't have time for, which I told you earlier, was the rule of 72 and the time value of money. That thing can work for you or against you. So it's better to let your money work for you earlier than against you. All right? So you protect the ones you love. Life insurance is an important component of a sound financial strategy. Getting it right when it comes to life insurance. We're going to talk about that more. Trending now in life insurance. And then, hey, you millennials, again, it starts early. The earlier you start, the more wealth you can build. I'm going to show you guys how to build wealth. And I'm going to show you how it's done. I watched this thing on housing today on the TV, on YouTube, Facebook, or one of the others. And it's so true. It is so very true how people have built wealth over the years and used that money to help their family and do some other things. Now, if you're a minority, you may have been cut out of that. But hey, I'm here to tell you, it's a lot of us educated now on a lot of different factors. And so it is no excuse anymore for a lot of things. We can come together, we can conquer and succeed. All right? Come together, combine, conquer, and succeed. So there are several types of permanent life insurance policies that I'll talk to you about: index, universal life, whole life, universal life insurance. They differ in whether the premiums are level or variable and how the cash accumulates in the fund. All right? And that's an education all within itself, because a lot of people don't understand or know about that. So building wealth. In order to build wealth, you have to establish your goals and objectives around building that wealth. You acquire a plan, you start the implementation process, you evolve and enhance. And that's how you build wealth. It is a simple formula. And I give you an example here. Let's say you're 25 and your retirement goal is to have $1 million saved by the time you're 65. If you start saving $655.30 per month, you'll reach your goal in 40 years. But if you wait until you're 45, you'll have to put in a rule of 72, $2,432 a month in order to reach that. And that's a lot of money when you have a family and a mortgage and all those other things to take care of. And if you only had 10 years to save, that comes to $6,400. So it's all about the goals and what is around those goals that you have. So how do you preserve wealth? Well, once you built enough wealth to sustain yourself through the golden years, it's time to think about your legacy. And that means having a financial plan in place to help you ensure your legacy reaches your intended heirs. Now, a lot of families, especially poor families or those the socioeconomic disadvantage, they haven't thought about this. But there are a lot of people on the other side that were at a socioeconomic disadvantage that did think about these things, and they have done the things they needed to do to build that wealth. So keep calm, focus on preservation and a strategy. And then did you know that only 32% of the US adults currently have estate preservation? I find that ironic. So I have done a lot of things because I'm the oldest in of my mother's children and my father's children as well. I am the oldest. And so what I decided to do, not just me deciding, I had to do a lot of prayer of this thing and know that God brought me in first because he knew he would position me to be the leader for my family and that I would have to work with them. And so I am on an intended goal to teach my family a lot of things that they are not aware of how to do and how to preserve wealth. So get it right. When it comes to life insurance, there are 4 basic rules. A basic rule of thumb on life insurance is having enough to provide approximately 10 times your annual family income. For example, if your current household income is about $50,000, you may want to consider having about $500,000. And so we're going more into that, like I said, when we dive deeper into the various little sections on building wealth. All right. When it comes to insurance, that's a continuation. And on this particular factor, I say, is the financial services industry an opportunity for you? Like I said, again, I'm on a mission to add 100 and take those 100, that 100 within the 100 of adding not only that 100, but adding 100 individuals on my team to help spread the message about financial literacy and helping others build financial wealth. And so if you know of anybody or you are interested, please remember to contact me. So if you have people skills, being able to work and connect, network with clients, if any of these apply to you, then you may be an individual that may want to join my team. You have a desire to learn, you have the ability to be able to understand financial concept, industry, regulations, financial products, and how to appropriately serve clients. You're coachable, meaning as you grow in your knowledge and skills, it helps to accept the guidance and mentoring from more experienced financial services representatives or professionals in your group. A willingness to follow proven strategies. And there are established methods for serving clients, and you advance fast if you can use them rather than creating your own. And then if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you always wanted to start something. Well, and I talked about the gig economy earlier. This also could be a great opportunity for you. Many people who want to own and grow their own business find success in this industry. And so if you have one or more of these traits, why not consider becoming a financial services business owner? And so if you're interested, you can click on the link over to the side if you're watching this from my app, and or on the number and email or address, and let me know you're interested. All right. And this is me, and thank you for enjoying the presentation. I'm your financial professional, and I have tons of education and degrees, and I'm here to teach and help others become the best them that they can possibly be. All right. And so that's my information there. I'm licensed in both Georgia, right now, Texas, Georgia, and Alabama. And I plan on being licensed in more states because I have got a lot of work to do, guys, and I need your help to get it done. Take care.